What's good, YouTube? This is That Guy Trades, and today we're going to have an overview of the dollar index, EurUsd, and the pound dollar. And we were bullish on the dollar index, bearish on the euro dollar, bearish on the pound dollar. This is the second time I'm recording this, by the way. But anyway, so this is the DXY on the weekly charts, and as you know, we were anticipating a quarterly shift in the beginning of July. Right here, this green line is marked, and we were expecting a quarterly shift to the upside for some of you guys to see. And what I'm actually anticipating here is actually a quarterly shift anticipation, and also I'm expecting a reversal on this quarterly shift to the upside. So this is what the green marking here is. It's just to mark where I'm anticipating a quarterly shift in price, and I'm looking at monthly levels, monthly fair value gaps up here, and this is the monthly charts. Now let's go deeper into the weekly, and we can see we had a swipe of liquidity in the 2024 levels, as well as recently of the April lows. So on the weekly, now we can have a clear view of the levels that we're looking at. Here we have the monthly volume imbalance, and we have the daily fair value gap that we reached into. And I'm looking at these levels as a level of support to see if we do move to the upside after touching into these levels. And we can see here we have an implied fair value gap just above us, just above these equal highs, where a lot of liquidity is resting in these levels here. And obviously we can see our monthly fair value gap, and then we have a bearish flag pattern which is in play right now since the beginning of July. So on the weekly chart we can see that the first 3 weeks we did have an upside move, and we had a retracement. In the first initial upside move, we created a weekly fair value gap, and we had a weekly order block that we traced into. So last week we traded right into the fair value gap and into the weekly order block, and we were anticipating still our initial targets of the equal buy side liquidity of June 2025, and our implied fair value gap, our weekly implied fair value gap that was created in the month of May, and the buy side liquidity of May, which was created with this bearish flag pattern that was created to trap traders short. So a lot of money is trapped short right here, and the buy side liquidity is right here, and just above that buy side liquidity we have a monthly fair value gap. These were our longer term objectives that we had since the beginning of July. So we can go to our daily charts, and we can see right here from last week we had a retracement down, and we had another bearish flag pattern form. This was to engineer liquidity and to trap people going short. And if people are trapped going short, that's liquidity for smart money to buy, to get more orders in before they go up to their desired targets, which again was our equal buy side liquidity highs that we had as our drove liquidity since the beginning of the month of July, and our implied fair value gap, our weekly implied fair value gap. And as you can see, when we retraced down, we traded down and we balanced our weekly fair value gap, and what else? We traded into our weekly order block, and as well our daily fair value gap right here, our daily fair value gap inefficiency we traded right into, whilst also being an optimal trade entry. If you look and you take this price swing, we had our retracements, and when we have our retracements, we retrace down into our optimal trade entry zone, which is 0.705. But this entire zone is optimal trade entry, and right in this area right here on our weekly order block, daily fair value gap. In this zone right here, one can be looking for entries to go long to our desired targets. And then you can see here example on the hourly. Here was the weekly fair value gap we traded into, and our daily fair value gap is right here, and our weekly order block. And what did we do? We took out the sell side liquidity. After taking it, we had a market shift and we retraced down right into this hourly fair value gap right here. This is ICT 2022 model. Can take it, go long to our objectives. Here's the buy side. Here's a daily volume imbalance that was created last week, and our implied fair value gap and our equal buy side liquidity. And then you can see on Monday how we treated this fair value weekly fair value gap. Once we traded outside of it, we came back down, consequent encroachments, and treated a support and went up, and we closed also our daily volume imbalance. We went up, took out that buy side, we took out our June equal high buy side liquidity, and we went into our weekly fair value gap, our implied weekly fair value gap, and we still have buy side liquidity further up and up. Today is Friday, the 1st of August, and we have NFP today, so we will have to see how price plays along today. And we also have euro dollar. We can see euro dollar, which we were bearish on, bullish on dollar, so we would be bearish on euro dollar. And here's our quarterly shift right here that we're anticipating, and this is our open float. Open float is where we look for our liquidity. Like here's the first level here, there's the other level, which we're very close to hitting that target. And you can see here it was our equal lows that were created in June, and then we have a monthly volume imbalance that we have right here. And you can see, so from the beginning of July we're bearish. We closed our weekly fair value gap, which was our support that we were looking for to add shorts. We went down, we created this bullish flag pattern, we hit a mitigation block and a daily fair value gap that was supports for retracements. And also in that week we created a weekly volume imbalance. So last week, looking for longs, you could have looked to target this volume imbalance, and this being our supports, the mitigation block daily. But after this gets balanced, you have to be very careful to be looking for shorts, because again, we were looking for the sell side liquidity and this weekly implied fair value gap as our longer term draws of liquidity, being what? Bearish on the euro dollar. So you can see our quarterly shift, we retraced. This is our IPDA interval, so we can anticipate for us to go back shorts to our open float draws of liquidity. And we went down, took out that liquidity, and we're still approaching those other liquidities. And again, today is the 1st of August, so we'll see how we trade. We could trade back up, taking out yesterday's buy side, hitting that mitigation block, entering that fair value gap and coming down, or we can just go straight down, because today is NFP. And again, NFP is not a day that I trade, but we can look and observe to see what happens with price action. But this again is our targets there and targets there, and also a longer term objective is the May low. You can see here funds are trapped long, trading this bullish flag. That's our draw of liquidity right here, the sell side liquidity, and we have our monthly fair value gap, right? And we can quickly look at the pound dollar quickly, and we can see here our quarterly shifts. Took out buy side, we went down, created a fair value gap, market shift, traded into that daily fair value gap, we traded down. And you can see here this was a balanced price range, so we knew as we hit here we're gonna have some resistance, which we did, because we hit, went up, we went down, we went up, and we went down, and then went up. That was us struggling past this resistance, but this was still our draw of liquidity. and eventually we dropped down. We created a weekly fair value gap. We traded back into it. That was our retracement up, and we traded into our daily order block. And you can see as price goes up and down, up and down, up and down, this becomes a balanced price range. So when a balanced price rate happens, you will take consequent encroachments of it, right? Which is about here. And with the bias of us being bearish, we know that price is likely not to go higher than 50% of this range. This is when you can start anticipating where fair value caps will stay open, where volume imbalances may stay open. Like we had a volume imbalance here that we did trade into, right? But we did not trade back into it. And we traded right into this order block right here after balancing this weekly fair value gap. So one could have been looking for shorts when that Thursday up here, at the same time as the optimal trade entry of the DXY, the same time as the euro dollar. Let's see, euro dollar also traded back into optimal trade entry into the order block and consequent encroachment of that fair value gap. And when was it? Thursday. So you could have been looking for shorts on Thursday and then anticipating price to go down, right? Then now, that was the pound dollar. Pound dollar was more aggressive than the euro dollar and the DXY. And we can see here with the pound dollar, it's already just about to hit its May targets of this bull flag. So right now, in terms of six sisters, this pound dollar is the more healthy sister. But the euro dollar is a little bit sick and the DXY is a little bit sick. Meaning that it's just lagging to the movement of the pound dollar. But for us, this is our objectives down here. It's just euro dollar is a bit sick, lagging to our objectives. And also here we have the dollar index being sick to objectives. It's that monthly fair value gap. And we'll see how we trade for the month of August. We are bullish for DXY. We are bearish for euro dollar, and we are bearish also for pound dollar, but we could be seeing some consolidation, some retracement for pound dollar as it did lead. But it'll be very interesting to see how we close for this week and how we begin the month of August. And yes, I hope this was a help for you guys. I hope you guys found this edifying, and I hope if you guys did like it that you would leave a like, a comment, subscribe, and do share the video. And tell me if you would like more videos like this, if you want something different. And I hope everyone has a good trading day and a good trading month. Thank you.